Welcome to the Alchemy of Manifestation podcast. I'm Jen Tammy at the Wheelhouse Project, and we are going to talk about how that sweet heart of yours is going to help you create the life of your dreams. It was about 7 or 8 years ago, and I was laid off from a job that I was miserable in. And while in the moment I was shocked, I was also elated. I realized that I hated getting up in the morning and going to work, that I was completely miserable. I felt stuck. I felt locked in. I felt grateful that I even had a job because there was just a lot going on in my industry at the time. There was a lot going on in terms of layoffs and buyouts and instability. A lot of people were getting laid off. And I think I was just trying to be grateful for the job that I had and not reaching for more. Mind you, I've always been a manifester. I'm an 8 life path. And if you look that up, that's all about manifesting the life of your dreams. That's all about creating the life that you want. And I've always been good at that. And I've always known how to do that. But it's also coming from our frame of mind, where we're at and what we believe is possible. And to be honest with you, this layoff opened new doors for me that way. Like the sky was the limit, sort of. It was, and not so much, but it was just a matter of now I had to go back to the drawing board and decide what I wanted. I needed to figure out exactly what made me happy. I needed to figure out what I wanted in a job and what I was passionate about. And that really forced me to sit down and write those things down and create some intentions around it to decide what I wanted. And I really had been in my industry for my entire life. And I knew what was possible. I knew what was out there. And so once I aligned what I wanted, I realized what made me happiest about the work I was doing. I could take those things and find the right job for myself. And I started to figure out what that was, speak, think, and believe that it was mine. And I put that out there into the world. I said affirmations. I visualized it. I was grateful in advance for it. I did everything that you are supposed to do when manifesting. And lo and behold, I had a lead within a couple of days. And that lead led me to that job. Mind you, it was a bit of a road, but that's another story. And it did manifest for me. And I did have to turn down a lot of other jobs that were not in alignment with what I wanted. And a lot of people said I was crazy, but I waited for it. I believed in it. I hung on to that vision and my intentions and kept saying my affirmations and speaking positively about it. And sure enough, that job came to fruition for me. And it was the job that I wanted. So let's talk about manifestation. So you're always manifesting what you believe is possible for you. So as you know, what I was saying about all the different things you need to do to manifest, you do. You need to believe that something is going to happen for you. You need to do the affirmations. You need to visualize. You need to be grateful and set intentions. And mind you, you don't have to do all of those things. But as long as you are believing and speaking positively about what you want and even visualizing it and feeling good about it. And we'll talk about that. That's coming from your heart. We'll talk about how this all comes from your heart. But if you're passionate about something, then you're going to draw it to you. And again, you have to believe that it's possible for you. So say, for example, I said I was going to be a Hollywood producer. Well, that would not probably be something that would have been believable to me. So that's not something I ever would have drawn to me because I would not have felt that was believable. So it has to be something that's believable. And we'll talk more about that too, is that, the more you can heal your heart and open your heart is the magnet and it will draw to you what you believe to be possible, or basically the level your heart is open at, because you have to have a certain capacity to be passionate about something, to be able to love something into existence. And sometimes that's challenging for us if we've had pain in our life, if we've had hurt in our life, if our heart is closed down. So we'll get into that in a minute. But basically, the magnet to draw things to you is your heart. But there's another aspect too. So I also wanted to talk about the fact that you have to have faith. So you have to have some belief that the divine is taking your affirmations, your visualizations, your intentions, and creating those things for you. So basically, you have to have faith. You have to have faith that things are happening for you. So why do people struggle to manifest the things in their life that they want? Say that they're, passionate about something, they're loving on something, they're faithful, they have strong faith that the divine is bringing it to them. Why do people still struggle to manifest then? Because I know this was a challenge for me throughout life. I got very frustrated with trying to manifest things that did not manifest for me. And that is because we have closed our hearts down in some way. And that is all due to past hurts, feelings of unworthiness, beliefs that you can't do better, maybe poverty mentality, all the different things that are sort of imposed on us in our life, and often during childhood, but can be at different points during our life. But beliefs that we have ingrained in us so strongly that we can't open ourselves enough to believe that it's possible for those things to come to fruition for us. So basically, we have a lot usually that we need to heal to open our hearts to manifest more. And it's not uncommon. I think most people have at least a partially closed heart, but often a very closed heart due to all of these things that have been imposed or ingrained in you, really. So what steps do we need to take to open our hearts so that we can manifest the life that we want? Healing is huge. I think healing is something that probably a lot of people are doing in some way, but may not even realize it. And we'll talk more about that. But we really need to proactively heal our heart. And I also want to bring up the inner child here, because inner child is something that a lot of people talk about, that the inner child is the one that carries all the hurt and all of those pains and the mistreatment or the old beliefs, or, the old inner child is kind of that younger aspect of you that's sort of been beaten down a little bit, that's kind of been taken all those beautiful childhood expansive beliefs and kind of crushed them a little bit. That sounds funny, but it's true. But basically, the inner child is your heart. So I will use that sometimes, talk about inner child, but inner child is your heart. So basically, it's that all of those things have been sort of weighing us down. All of those things that have been sort of put on our shoulders are sort of crushing us, are closing our hearts and making us less capable of drawing the things to us that we deserve. So there are so many avenues to healing, and that will be a huge focus of this podcast. I'm going to try and bring in lots of healers. I know I've had a lot of experience doing healing work and working with healers in my lifetime. So I'm going to bring in all the information and resources, hopefully that you will find helpful and will need to help you to open your heart so that you can manifest the life of your dreams. But I think the most important thing to know is that healing your heart or that inner child will bring out that manifester in you, will bring out, I like the inner child term because I think of a small child that dreams without limits, that visualizes the most fun, the most fulfilling, the most magical and love-filled, beautiful life of passion and joy and purpose. That's very childlike. And that is what our hearts are capable of. That's what our hearts are capable of drawing to us when they are fully open and healed. And that, my friends, is our journey in this lifetime, is that we have all these things sort of piled on us and imposed on us. And that's part of our lessons. That's part of our growth in our lifetime. And I know there's a lot of people that have gone through a lot of suffering, and that's really hard for a lot of people to hear and even to develop, faith in the divine. And we'll get more into that in a minute. But, when you've had all these things piled on you, all this pain, all this hurt, all this suffering, to understand why that would be done to you. And, there's a lot that obviously I don't understand all the reasons behind, but I will tell you that it is your journey in this lifetime to find your way out of that. That is the biggest part of your journey is to find your way out of that, to clear it, to heal it, to open your heart back up again so that you can create the life you deserve. So you can create that better life for yourself. And that is part of your journey here. And that's what we're going to be talking about. It's not so much why all those things happen, but let's take those, let's unearth ourselves from it. Let's, not recreate ourselves, but dig ourselves out and find our authentic selves with those beautiful, open-hearted, childlike beliefs that we came here with. So we want to get back to that. That's the key. So let's talk about a couple other things really quickly. I wanted to talk also about, in alignment with healing ourselves, that we also are working to heal ourselves in terms of our self-love. So we want to grow our self-love. We want to learn to take care of ourselves, have compassion for ourselves. Obviously, we've been through a lot. We're going through a lot. Healing is not easy. Bringing up all that stuff and healing it is not easy. So it's really a matter of learning to love ourselves and be compassionate towards ourselves, getting to know who we are, learning and growing and knowing ourselves better. And then, as we do that, learning to follow our own curiosity, finding our own passions again, finding those childlike dreams that we have within ourselves. But it's also about taking care of our mind, our body, our heart, our soul, all of those things. It's about learning to prioritize ourselves, to say no when we need to ask for more for ourselves. As we heal, we develop greater self-love on that journey. And, in alignment with that, we also will not tolerate as much. With the greater self-love you have, you just won't tolerate as much. You will have respect for yourself. You will have compassion for yourself. You will take better care of yourself. You will accept yourself, and you will reach for more with greater self-love. So again, that's all opening your heart. You're opening your heart to yourself. So that's part of your healing journey, is to grow to love yourself. And no one's going to be able to give you the love that you can give to yourself. That's the biggest and most important love that you will need to find and to open your heart. So let's come back to spirituality again for just a minute. So we talked about, you have to have some sort of faith. You have to have some sort of faith to manifest, because you literally have to surrender your visions and affirmations and everything to the divine to bring them to you. Your faith has to be incredibly strong to really believe that it's all happening. And you really need to have a strong relationship with the divine. And that, again, that doesn't mean religion. That just means that you have to find some aspect of your creator, maybe talking to your guides, maybe talking to the angels around you. You need to find a love for your creator. You need to find a love for the divine. Again, it comes back to being heart-centered. It comes back to healing your heart. And I know, like I said, a lot of people who've had a lot of pain, maybe even growing up in religions that were not in alignment with you, that seemed harsh or hurtful or scary, that you need to also unearth all of that, to heal all of that in yourself and find your own peace and your own love in your own spirituality, in your own beliefs, so that you can begin to see that God has always been on your side and always loving you, and that all of these lessons and this growth and this pain is bringing you to a new level, is raising you up, that you are rising like the phoenix out of the ashes, and that God is loving you through it, and that that's part of your journey, is to unearth yourself from all of that pain, all of that suffering, all of those old beliefs, and create a new you, or I should say, go back to the original person that you were born to be, that got all that stuff piled on you. So it's really just about developing that relationship with the divine, so that not only you feel loved, but you know that you are not just sending your dreams out into the ethers, but you're sending it out to someone or something that loves you, that's working with you, that's co-creating with you, and that is bringing that to you. So that's really, again, another aspect of opening your heart, is that you're going to be opening it to yourself, and you're going to be opening it to the divine. So let me sum this up a little bit. So basically, your heart as we've talked about, is attracting what you want into your life. You need to live a heart-centered life. That is your manifester. Your heart is your manifester. So what we need to do is to heal our heart, to heal that, or that inner child, if you prefer that term, to heal your heart so that your heart can open and dream a bigger dream for you. Attract what you want with your open heart, because your heart is the manifester in your life. And in alignment with that healing path, as you heal yourself and start to open your heart back up, you will also grow your own self-love. And you need to focus on growing your own self-love, on taking care of yourself, on loving yourself, on being compassionate towards yourself and accepting yourself. And that's a journey in alignment with this healing path that you're on. Also, in alignment with that, you need to be developing your own faith in the divine and gain clarity about your own journey. And trust, of course, that everything that you're sending out to God or the divine is being received with love, that is being received with an open heart on the other side, and that is being co-created with you. So basically developing your love of the divine and knowing that the divine loves you and is co-creating with you, is bringing you everything you desire as you send it out with your open heart. So as you align all of these things and as you open your heart with all of this healing and love of yourself and of the divine, and opening your capacity to love and to be loved, you will then be able to love all of your dreams into existence, all of the higher dreams, all the bigger dreams, all the things that you really deep down probably have wanted since childhood for yourself and dreamed about can actually happen for you. But it's going to take time. It's going to take healing. It's going to take self-love, and it's going to take faith. A lot of it. But we have a lot to talk about with all of this. I know this is just scratching the surface, but I wanted to introduce you to the Alchemy of Manifestation podcast and the Heart-Centered Life and the journey that we are all on, that I am really excited about. This beautiful journey, this heart-centered journey, and taking it with all of you. Thank you so much for joining me today. Please subscribe to the podcast and check out all of our other resources, videos, blogs, and more at thewheelhouseproject.com. Remember to sign up for our email list while you're there. And also check us out at The Wheelhouse Project on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest.